Welcome to the EXCELcast Mini. I'm Jonathan Kuuskoski, Assistant Director for Entrepreneurship and Career Services here at the University of Michigan School of Music, Theater, and Dance. This is another mini episode where we talk with some of our student entrepreneurs who've been involved with the EXCELerator Fellow Program. So, welcome Patterson McKinney.
Hello. Hey.
Great to have you here.
Glad to be here.
In front of the camera, in addition to being involved in our EXCELerator program, Patterson's also the mastermind behind these videos. So
Sure.
It's great to have a chance to talk with you.
Absolutely.
And we're going to talk today about Inequality Deconstructed. It's a project you've been involved in. I would love to hear you talk a little bit about it, because when we first saw the proposal for this project, it was one of the most stunning and striking and creative projects that I'd seen, and it was also one that was hard for me to kind of conceptualize.
Sure.
So what is this project?
Yeah, so Inequality Deconstructed is essentially an interdisciplinary collaboration with composer, performers, 3 percussionists, and visual artists. So basically creating a piece with a video element, then performing the piece, surrounded kind of with the topic of and the discrepancy of income in America, in American history over the past 100 years. So kind of this notion of, the top 1%, bottom 90%, and the discrepancy between.
And how does that manifest itself into, a performance or a new work?
Right, yeah. So our composer, Baldwin, was really fascinated with this topic. He's got a background in political science as well. So he really wanted to kind of portray the data in musical terms, so kind of putting sounds with the numbers that we're seeing. And of course, we as percussionists have a long history of kind of playing pieces that are data-derived and things like that. So we immediately jumped at it, but we really wanted to have a video element, kind of, graphs and other kind of visual stimuli to kind of drive the point home to audiences, make it a little more easy to digest, a little more, tangible for them to realize what they were hearing, what they were seeing, and this whole kind of idea behind it.
Wow, that's fascinating. So in terms of the sort of process over the course of these last few months, because yours was a project that came in at the ideation stage, right? You had a big idea and you had a sort of timeline laid out, but obviously it's not something that you can complete in 2 or 3 months.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about the building blocks of these first few months, where you've come.
So of course, right at the very beginning, writing the grant and working with you and kind of, spitballing ideas back and forth, a big part of it was just refining the idea. What was it that we were actually doing? What data were we focusing on? Which charts and which graphs was Baldwin actually going to write the music from, which is a big step. Beyond that, of course, the kind of workshop phase of instruments, the whole world of percussion, showing him some of the sounds that are possible, things like that. So basically, once that was all squared away, Baldwin left, he's writing the piece, and the other 3 of us began work on the video element. So kind of this notion of what we were going to do video-wise. Was it going to be really kind of a narrative and storytelling throughout the 100-year history of this topic, or was it going to be a little more abstract, more graphs, more people? So really a lot of just the refining stage. And now we're at the point where we're syncing up music and video. So we're kind of putting it together, still tweaking, still refining. And so we're very much in the creation stage of the project still.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I should note, so you're a master's in percussion, performance student here at U of M.
Yeah.
Also, of course, involved in this project, but also in a lot of other projects and behind the scenes, right?
Sure.
Audio and video production.
Definitely.
So it's a lot to handle as a full-time student.
Is.
And
it is. Yeah.
And so what are some of the tips or thoughts that you have just on ways that you've seen your colleagues and you yourself have managed to sort of balance those different priorities?
Sure, and that really is it. It's a balancing act with kind of your passion projects and school load, and we've definitely seen a lot of that, especially in the composition process, just because there are other pieces that have to get written at the same time, So it's really, I don't know, kind of important to keep this idea mulling in the background and sort of doing some other work, coming back to this and saying, oh, that would be really cool. Why don't we try this for this project? Or, we might hear a piece that a fellow composer is writing and be like, hey, that's kind of a cool idea. Maybe we could incorporate some of those elements. And it's really just kind of learning throughout everything that we do and just kind of bringing it back to this at the end of the day.
Yeah, so finding a way to kind of keep this work on this project in sort of your regular workflow, even if part of that is just thinking about it and looking for opportunities to get inspiration from the other things that you're involved in.
Totally.
Great. And lots of coffee, too.
That's right. Oh, plenty of that.
So what's next for this project, and what's your timeline for launching and performing it?
Yep. So this summer is really dedicated, again, to the creation of the project. So we're in the stage where we're refining and we're kind of going back and seeing what works, what doesn't work, and just kind of putting it all together, music and video, and actually learning the parts, things like that. So our goal is to kind of do that over the course of the summer, so we can come back in the fall, August, September, and really start workshopping it for other people, workshopping it, maybe even giving some smaller test performances, seeing if it's effective, seeing if the data is coming across in a really kind of digestible, understandable way. And then beyond that, using most of the fall, early winter terms to plan a tour. So we do want this piece to get out there. We want the topic to be heard by as many people as possible. Part of that will mean recording videos to live on the web. A big part of it, touring it around to other universities, other areas, definitely in the state of Michigan, but beyond.
Great, so lots of potential and lots of excitement for this project moving forward. Well, we can't wait to see it when it's finished, and look forward to learning more about it when we get back from the summer.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much.
Great, yeah, thank you.